It started with a sound. Not loud. Not violent. Just a soft knock. Ethan froze. It was 2:17 a.m. No one should be at his apartment door at that hour. He sat up in bed, his heart beating faster than it should. The room was completely dark except for the faint blue glow of his phone charging on the nightstand. Then it came again. Knock. 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 Slow. Deliberate. Almost patient. Ethan swallowed hard and checked his phone. No missed calls. No messages. Probably a neighbor, he whispered to himself, though it didn't feel like one. He lived alone. The building was old, half empty, and the landlord barely showed up. Most of the other apartments had been vacant for months. Another knock. This time, louder. Ethan got out of bed, his bare feet cold against the floor. He walked slowly toward the front door, every step heavier than the last. "Who is it?" he called. Silence. Then, a voice. Soft. Almost a whisper. "Ethan." His blood turned cold. That voice. It sounded familiar. Too familiar. "Who's there?" he asked again, his voice trembling now. "It's me." Ethan stepped closer to the door. His hand hovered over the handle. "Who?" he demanded. There was a long pause. Then the voice spoke again. "Open the door." Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Something wasn't right. That voice. It sounded exactly like his own. He stumbled back, nearly tripping over the rug. "No. No. That's not possible," he muttered. But then, knock. Knock. More urgent now. "Ethan. Open the door." Same voice. Same tone. His voice. He backed away completely, pressing himself against the wall. Every instinct screamed at him not to open that door. "Go away," he shouted. Silence. For a moment, everything stopped. No knocking. No voice. Just the heavy sound of his own breathing. Ethan stayed frozen for what felt like minutes. Then slowly, he walked toward the peephole. His hand trembled as he leaned in and looked through it. Nothing. The hallway was empty. The flickering yellow light outside barely illuminated the cracked walls, but there was no one there. He let out a shaky breath. "See. Nothing," he whispered to himself. He turned away from the door. That's when he heard it. Right behind him. "Why didn't you open it?" Ethan screamed and spun around. But there was no one in the room. The voice. It came from inside the apartment. He grabbed his phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam of light cut through the darkness, shaking as his hands trembled. "Hello," he whispered. No response. He checked the living room. Empty. Kitchen. Nothing. Bathroom. Clear. Only one place left. The bedroom. But he had just come from there. Still, something pulled him back. He walked slowly down the hallway, each step echoing louder than it should. The bedroom door was slightly open. He was sure he had closed it. A cold draft slipped through the crack. Ethan pushed the door open. The room looked the same, but it felt different. Colder. Darker. He stepped inside. Then froze. On the bed, someone was sitting there. Back turned toward him. Same clothes. Same build. Same posture. Ethan's breath stopped. Number. The figure slowly tilted its head, at an unnatural angle. Then, without turning around, it spoke. "You should have opened the door." Ethan stumbled backward. Stay away from me, he yelled. The figure laughed. A low, distorted version of his own voice. Then slowly, it stood up and turned around. Ethan felt his world collapse. Because he was staring at himself. But not quite. Its eyes were wrong. Too wide. Too empty. And its smile. Too big. Stretching far beyond what was human. You locked me out, the thing said calmly. Ethan shook his head violently. You're not real. Oh, I am, it replied. I've always been here. It took a step closer. Ethan took one back. I was just waiting, it continued. Waiting for you to notice me. Stop, Ethan screamed. But the thing didn't stop. You hear me sometimes, don't you? It said softly. In your thoughts. In your voice. Ethan's hands covered his ears. No. 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 You ignore me, it whispered. You pretend I'm not there. It stepped closer. Too close. I knocked, it said. I asked politely. Ethan looked up. Tears in his eyes. What do you want from me? He whispered. The thing leaned in, inches from his face. And smiled wider. I want to come out. The lights went out. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Ethan screamed. He ran blindly, crashing into furniture, knocking things over. Help! Someone help me! But no one came. No one ever came. Then, silence. Total silence. Even his own breathing stopped. Morning came. The sun rose slowly over the empty apartment building. Everything looked normal. Quiet. Still. Too still. A neighbor passing by noticed Ethan's door slightly open. They knocked. No answer. They pushed it open. Inside, everything was neat, clean, undisturbed. Except for one thing. On the bedroom mirror, written in something dark, were the words, "He finally let me in." Weeks later, people in the building began to complain about a sound, a soft knock, late at night, 2:17 a.m., always the same, and sometimes, if they listened closely, they could hear a voice behind their door. Soft, familiar, whispering their name. And if you ever hear it, don't open the door, no matter what voice you recognize. Because sometimes, the thing outside isn't trying to come in. It's trying to replace you. Smile with horns.